Hello friends, welcome to Risingpearl.com. Today we are talking about series 8 where we are learning a great deal on arithmetic progressions. Friends, this is webisode number 8 and today we are going to continue to take a look at how do we solve questions where we may need to find the nth term of arithmetic progression, and this is a part 5. Part 5 because it has been in the last 4 parts and this is the 5th part. We have been taking a look at how to solve questions that may come up in your tests and exams on arithmetic progression. So friends, we are going to continue to work through some of these questions. So let's say our question is, which term of the AP, there is arithmetic progression which is given, so which term of the AP is 78? So how do we solve something like this? So what is given is, we know that the first term, A1, or we always write the first term as A, is given as 3. Now because the arithmetic progression is given, so we can also find out the common difference D. So we can take any two terms, consecutive terms which is known, right? So for example, we can take 3 and 8, we can take 8 and 13, we can take 18 and 13. So let's say we take these two. So common difference will be, if we take these two, it will be A3 because this is the third term minus A2, right? So 13, A3 is 13, this is a third term. First term, second term, third term. So 13 minus immediately the term which is preceding this, second term, is 8. So if we subtract 8 from 13, we get 5. So that means the common difference is known and that value is equal to 5. And you can check that because if you add 5 to 3, you will get 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18, so on and so forth. So now we have found out the first term and we have found out the common difference. So the question is, which term, meaning is it the 5th term, is it the 8th term, is it the 20th term, which term is 78? So how about we say, let us say that it is the nth term. Say nth term, or we say that let us assume it is the nth term in the arithmetic progression whose value is equal to 78. We don't know what is the value of n. But we do know that nth term of an arithmetic progression can be written as a plus n minus 1 times d. This is how we write nth term. An represents the nth term and the value of the term is a plus n minus 1 times d. So now let's just put the values in. So we are saying the nth term is 78. So this is actually equal to 78. Whatever the value of this is, it must be equal to 78 because we are assuming nth term is 78. So let's say a equals 3. Let's put 3 plus n minus 1 times common difference is 5. 5 and this is equal to 78. So let's continue to solve this. So the plus 3, this is plus 3. We move it on the other side, it will become minus 3. So we are going to be left with here n minus 1 times 5 will be equal to 78 minus 3, or it will be 75. So now let's continue to solve it over here. So n minus 1 times 5 is 75. So from here we say n minus 1 is equal to 75 divided by 5. Now 5 15s are 75. So this cancels out. Now, or we have n minus 1 is 15. So n is equal to 15. This one will go on the other side, will become plus 1. And this will be equal to 16. That means n is 16. It means the 16th term, A16, or the 16th term, which is going to be A16, that value will be 78. And friends, this is something, it's a great exercise for you to check because you can keep adding 5 to it, and when you get to the 16th term, you can check if indeed, if the 16th term is equal to 78, which absolutely it will be, and this is how we solve this type of question. So let's take a look at more questions and see how do we solve them. Check whether This is a little bit different type of question because we are trying to cover as many types of questions on this topic. So check whether minus 150 is a term of the AP. So we have given an arithmetic progression. This is arithmetic progression. First 4 terms are given. And the question is check whether minus 150 is a term of this series. So how do we see it? So again, let's say, so the first term A1, whose value is equal to A, that is given as 11. Now common difference D is any 2 terms. So we can take these two, or these 2. So let's say if we take these 2 terms. So this is first, second, third, fourth. So we can say A4 minus A3. We can find out the common difference like that. So fourth term is 2 minus third term is 5. Or this will be equal to minus 5. So D common difference is minus 5 and A is 11. So what we say is, let us say that nth term of our AP is equal to minus 150. So let's assume that nth term is minus 150. So then an, by a formula we know that it is nth term of any arithmetic progression is written as a plus n minus 1 times d. So and this value we are assuming will be equal to minus 150. So let's put the value of a and d and see what we can get for n. So a, let's see, so a equals 11 plus we have n minus 1 times d is minus 3. D is minus 3. This is equal to minus 150. Or let's expand this. So what we have here is, we have, so 11. Now minus 3 times n is minus 3n. Minus 3 times minus 1 is plus 3. This is equal to 150. Or from here what we can say is, so this is minus n, right? Let's take the minus n on the other side. So then, and then let's get the 150 on this side. So what we have here is, we have 11 plus 3 is 14. And this 150, actually we should make a correction. We didn't write it correctly. This is minus 150. Remember, this is minus 150. This is minus 150. So when we bring the 150 over here, it will become plus 150. Plus 150. So this is equal to, now the 3n. So remember, we are getting the 3n on this side of the equality side, and we are getting 150 on this side. So the 3n, when we take it to the right side, will become plus 3n. And minus 150, when we bring it to the left side, will become plus 150. So, or in other words, what we have is, so 3n equal to, so if you add this, you will get, so we have 14. So it will be 164. 164. Now we simply have to divide 164 by 3. So 3 5s are 15. And then we have 1 4 and 3 4s are 12. So there is a remainder 2, and then we have to go into a decimal number. That means from here we say that n is actually equal to 54 point something. So we don't even have to do the full calculation. We are expecting, what is n? We are expecting n to be a whole number. So the value of n could be like, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 32, some whole number. But n cannot be like a decimal number. So in other words, 1 minus 1, so our initial assumption is wrong. We assume that let nth term be equal to minus 150, and so n should be a whole number, but we came across n is 54 point something, and it is not a whole number. So our initial assumption that nth term is 150 is wrong. So 150, or minus 150 I should say, is not a term which is going to be in this series. So I want you to take a moment and think about how powerful this formula is, which is this formula, the value of the nth term, which is expressed as nth term an equals a plus n minus 1 times d. Even if we have only 4 known terms of this AP, we can say if any other value, can that be a legitimate or a possible term in the series or not. So friends, I am just walking you through some of the different flavors of types of questions that you may be seeing. So let's take a look at maybe some more questions. Find the 31st term of an AP whose 11th term is given as this and whose 16th term is given as this. See how interesting this is. We know there is an arithmetic progression, there is an AP whose 11th term is given and 16th term is given. But we have to find out the 31st term. So how do we do it? So let's assume that the first term is A. We always assume that the first term is A and the common difference is D. We will go with this assumption. So now let's see what we have to do. So the 11th term is given. So A11 will be equal to A plus n minus 1. N is 11 because it is 11th term minus 1 times D. Or in other words, it will be A plus 10 times D. Now similarly what is given is A16 is given. That is 16th term will be A plus 16, which is n, minus 1 times D. Because both A and D are unknown, or it will be A plus 15 times D. Now what is given is that 11th term is 38. That means this value is actually 38. And the 16th term is actually 73. So this value is given as 73. So if you look at now what we have, if you look at this, so we have two equations. A plus 10D equals 38 and A plus 15D equals 73. So we have two equations and two unknowns. A is unknown and D is unknown. So we can treat this as a pair of simultaneous equations and solve. So simply if you think that, let's say this one, let's just write it here. If this is equation 1, the top one, and this is equation 2. So what we can do is we can say 2 minus 1, right? So we can just do 2 minus 1. Actually, why don't we do it here? It will be a little bit more easier. So A plus 15D is equal to 73, right? And let's write the other equation, equation 1, underneath that. A plus 10D is equal to 38. Now if we just subtract, this is our equation 2 and this is equation 1. So what we are doing is we are basically doing equation 2 minus equation 1. If we do that, then this will be minus, this will be minus, this will be minus, plus minus A will cancel out. 15D minus 10D, we will be left with 5D, equal to 73 minus 38, so it will be 5. So 38 plus 5 is 43, so it will be 35. Or in other words, D will be equal to 7. 35 by 5 will be 7. So we have found out the value of D. So now we know D is 7. So simply by putting D as 7 in whether equation 1 or equation 2, we can find out the value of A. So let's put D equal to 7 in maybe equation 1. So we have A, which is equal to, so we have 38 minus 10 times D, because the 10D, when you take it on the other side, will become minus 10D, right? So A equals 38 minus 10D minus 10, D is 7. Or what we will have is, so here we are going to see that, so let's do it here, 38 minus 70, right? So this will be minus, so 2 will make it 40 and 30, so minus 32. So what we have just found out is A, which is the first term of our series, should be minus 32, and common difference is 7. So is this the question that is being asked? No. Question is find the 31st term. So we are not done yet, just yet. So let's give ourselves a little bit more space. So let's clean this up. So we have found A as minus 32 and we have found D as 7. Right? So now let's see. So we have to find out A 31. 31st term is A 31, which is nothing but A plus n is 31 minus 1 times D. Or in other words, now we put the value A equals minus 32 plus 31 minus 1 is 30 times D is 7. So if we just put the value and simplify and solve this, you will see minus 32 plus this is 210. 210. So if we just simply subtract this, so minus 32. So you will see this is 8, 0. So 1 comes over, so it is 10. So this will be 7 and 1. Right? So 178 minus 178. So the 31st term will be minus 178. I think we actually may have made a calculation mistake in this, and the reason I'm thinking that is because see, the 11th term is 38. So the 16th term is 73. So the 6, actually yes, no, we actually did correctly. It should not be minus, it should be plus. That is a mistake. So this makes sense, because I was thinking if the answer is minus, and it's a good way to cross check yourself, because the common difference is a positive number, right? 11th term is 38 and 16th term is 73. So 73 clearly is greater than 38. So our common difference is a positive number. So the term, as you increase the term, the value is going up. So if 16th term is 73, how can 31st term be a negative number? So that is why when we had minus 178, I wasn't sure, but clearly it is minus 32 plus 210. So our answer is 31st term indeed is plus 178. So let's see if we can take like a few more examples before we wrap up this presentation. AP consists of 50 terms. So it's a finite AP. There are 50 terms, of which the third term is 12. Third term is 12 and the last term is 106. Find the 29th term. So it's almost the same as the last question. So we have, so the first term, we will assume the first term is A and the common difference is D. Whenever these two things are not known, we will assume this. So the third term, A3, will be equal to A plus n is equal to 3. So here n is equal to 3 because it is a third term. So A plus n minus 1 times D. And we get this as A plus twice D. And this value, the third term, is given as 12. Right? Similarly, A, now the last term, so there are 50 terms, so the last term is A50, correct? Because if there are 50 terms and last term, it will be A50. So in this case, n is equal to 50, right? So n is equal to 50, so it will be A plus n, which is 50, minus 1 times D. And the 50th, so if you solve this, so it will be A plus 50 minus 1 is 49D. So this is equal to 106. 106. So again, now friends, we have two equations. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So we have two equations if you just look at these two, and there are two unknowns. So it's a simultaneous equation question again. A plus 2d equals 12 and a plus 49d equals 106. So if we subtract 1 from 2, that is if we do 2 minus 1, so let's write it here. So a plus 49d is equal to 106, and then we have a plus 2d equals 12. And now friends, when it comes to solving simultaneous equation, you can use method of elimination or method of substitution. It's totally up to you. So I'm just using one of the methods, and you can use this method, you can use any other method, it really does not matter. What is important is we have to solve this, right? So if we subtract this, so we are actually doing equation 2 minus equation 1. That's what we are doing. So minus, minus, minus. So plus minus a cancels out. 49 minus 2 will be 47d. So this will be 47 times d, and this value will be equal to, let's see, so 6 minus 2 will be 4, and then we have a 0. So 16, so I think this will be 8. Is it going to be 8? Let's make sure. So 106 minus 12. So this will be 8, and 10, 1. So 10 minus, no, it will be 9, 98. So this will be 98, 94, sorry. I made a mistake. It should be 90, 94. So, or from here, we can say that then d will be equal to, so from here, it will be equal to 94 divided by 47. So if you do this, looks like it will be 2. If you do this, it will be 2. 47 2s are 94. So d, or the common the common difference, is 2. So we can put that in any one of the equations. Let's put it in the equation 1. So then we can find out a is equal to 12 minus 2d, 12 minus 2d. From equation 1 we get this, right? So 12 minus 2 times d is 2, or we get this as 12 minus 4, 2 2s are 4, and this value will be 8. So what we have found out is a, so what we have found out is a is equal to 8 and d is equal to 2. Now that we know these two, a is 8 and d is 2, we can find out the 29th term using the very same formula, right? So let's see if we can give ourselves a little bit more space. So what we have is we have a is equal to 8 and we have found out d is equal to 2. So if this is the case and we have to find out the 29th term, so how do we do it? So we are going to use the formula an, or nth term, is written as a plus n minus 1 times d. So A29, which is the nth term, we are simply putting n equals 29. It will be a, which is 8, plus n is 29, n is 29 minus 1 times d. D is 2. So if we just solve this, it will be 8 plus 28 times 2. So, or this will be equal to 28 2s are 56. So simply 56 plus 8, which is going to be 64. So the 29th term in this arithmetic progression will be 64. Let's say, I know this video is becoming quite long. Let's see if we want to take one more quick example. Maybe I'll just show you how to actually approach it without actually going into solving it, because we may be running too long on this particular video. The 17th term of a AP exceeds its 10th term by 7. Find the common difference. See how interesting this question is. This question is telling us that the 17th term, so A17 minus A10 is equal to 7. That is what the first sentence of the question is telling us. The 17th term, what is the 17th term? A17 exceeds its 10th term, meaning A17 is more and A10 is less. So by how much? By 7. So A17 minus A10 is 7. That is what is given to us. We have to find the common difference. So we can simply say, well, A17 is nothing but A plus 17 minus 1 times D. Obviously, if A is the first term and D is the common difference, then this value, this shows the 17th term, A17, minus, what about the 10th term? 10th term can be written as A plus 10 minus 1 times D. So this minus this is equal to 7, which is given. So if we just solve this, so we will note that this is A plus 17 minus 1 is 16. So 16D. So this is A plus 16D minus, here you have A plus 9D. But it will be minus A minus 9D. Because when you take the bracket out, there is a minus here. So it will be minus A minus 9D. And this is equal to 7. So now as you can see here, it's a straightforward question. Now plus A minus A will cancel out. So you have 19 minus 16 minus 9, which is going to be 7. So 7D is equal to 7. Or from here we can say that D is equal to 1. So even though we don't need to find out the first term, given the question, we can find out the common difference for this arithmetic progression is equal to 1. So friends, I am showing you all different kinds of questions that may come up on this topic, and should they come up, how you solve these questions, right? So maybe last question is, for what value of n are the nth terms of 2 APs? So there are 2 APs. So there is one AP like this which is given, and there is one more AP which is given. This is very interesting. First time we are looking at this kind of question. So at what value of n the nth term, so let's just make it up. Let's pick a random value for n. Say n equals 25. So what the question is telling us is, if n equals 25, then the 25th term of this AP will be equal to 25th term of this AP. Meaning these two APs have a certain number of terms which the value will be the same. In other words, if we say the nth term of the first AP, say that value is x. Let's say the nth term, the value of the nth term for first AP is x. Now if we calculate the value of the same nth term but for a different AP, second AP, if that value is y, what the question is saying is that x is equal to y. We have to find out what is the value of n. Meaning, what is the number of term for this AP and this AP where the actual value becomes the same. So very straightforward. So the first AP, so for the first AP, let's write the value. So A is given as 63, as we can see it, and common difference, we can just take 65 minus 63, right? So we can take 65 minus 63 and we get 2. So we know A is 63 and D is 2. So let's say the nth term, the value of the nth term will be 63 plus n minus 1 times 2. This is the value of the nth term for the first AP. Now for the second AP, let's say A, what is the value of A for the second AP? A is 3. And what is the common difference for the second AP? So let's say it's 10 minus 3. So it is 10 minus 3, which is 7. So the nth term for the second AP will be written as 3 plus n minus 1 times 7, right? So this is the nth term for the second AP. But what is given is these two values are same. So let's equate them. So what we have, let's write it here. So we have 3 plus n minus 1 times 7, right? 3 plus n minus 1 times 7 is equal to 63 plus n minus 1 times 2. Or from here we can say that, so let's get the n minus 1 times 2 on this side. So we will have n minus 1 times 7 minus 2 will be 5. So we will have this on this side, and the 3 goes in from here to the other side. It will become 63 minus 3, or it will be equal to 60. So from here what we can say is n minus 1 is equal to 60 divided by 5, 60 by 5, which is equal to 12. So n minus 1 is 12, so n is equal to 12 plus 1, which is 13. So what it means is that the 13th term of the first AP is equal to the 13th term of the second AP. So friends, I want to make sure that you are following us along at risingpearl.com. Whenever you are not able to follow step by step, please pause the video, take a moment. If need be, go back, rewind, and see what we are discussing and see how it all makes logical sense. In spite of that, if you have any questions, please feel absolutely free to share your comments, questions with us, and we would love to clarify those doubts for you. So friends, in the next webisode, we are going to take a look at some more types of questions on arithmetic progression.